Hi there, welcome to I Alone Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Sagittarius energy. And for this round, we're going to do a 10 card spread. And like usual, we're going to read it from a couple different perspectives because it's not a personal reading. I don't know anything about your life. So people are going to harness this energy differently, and what's going on in their life is going to be different depending on how they harness their Sagittarius energy. High Vibe Sagittarius energy is about higher learning and education and love. So there are people who have learned lessons in life, they've grown, they've healed, they've matured, they've got less things that used to manipulate them. They've kind of freed themselves from those things. They were inspired to wrap their brain around this game of life and not repeat some old patterns or let their more shadow nature run their life. And life's an adventure to be lived. And they learn the lessons, they move on to the next adventure in life. You know, like, bring it on, God. And, you know, we have to learn all these lessons in life to get to that stage of life. And some people aren't there yet. Some people are fearful of learning new lessons, fearful of listening to their intuition, fearful of being more, oops, some cards dropped, I gotta move my thing. Some people are fearful of being more inspired in their life, being more bold and brave and confident. Some people are just, learning lessons in the world, still caught up and really inspired by the things of the world, and could be in their more immature energy. And we've all been there because we've all got lessons to learn. So life's about learning lessons. We've all learned different lessons. Some people, we in relationship to other people have learned more lessons in life, than us. We've maybe learned some more lessons than other people. Some people reject their Sagittarius energy. If it's about looking at life as an adventure to be lived and being inspired by love and having to get out of your ego to learn lessons in life, some people are like, no, I'm good. I'm in my ego. I'm in my defensive nature. I'm inspired by these things of the world. We just need to see the truth of it. Because if we're in mismatched relationships, if you're motivated by love and healing and growing and wanting to dump some of your baggage and you're in a relationship with people who don't, it's kind of a mismatched relationship. It's going to be hard to, you're motivated and inspired by different things. So what's going on in Sagittarius energy? We have a card not showing itself, and the reason is because of yin-yang, which does talk about balance. We have our dualistic nature. We have our more immature, worldly, egoic nature. We have our more hopeful, believing nature, and it's about being balanced between the two. Some people try to present themselves as being balanced, but they're out of balance. They're tipped into their fear, their insecurity, their pride, their ego, or their over-loving nature, and they don't require love to be just and fair, and they keep kind of indulging people in poor behavior. But it has to do with this card, Broken Heart. We've all been brokenhearted before. Some of you, the broken heart is Libra energy. Maybe some of you have been dealing with people, a Libra, or just people who you thought, we've all dealt with people who we thought would be just and fair, kind of work together with us cooperatively in a just and fair and balanced way. And not everybody in our life has. And until we've kind of wrapped our brain around that, some people haven't. And so they're trying to hide from people that they still have either what they think is just and fair is different than what you might think is just and fair, or they have this unresolved heartbreak that they haven't dealt with. And again, Sagittarius energy is about higher learning and education, to wrap your brain around it, that some people are walking around in heartbreak, trying to maybe balance out their emotions about pain, heartbreak, self-learning beliefs. What they might not know about some other people is that's not what they're doing. They really did do the work to work through the heartbreak, and that doesn't manipulate them anymore. They're done with it. And they're not in heartbreak anymore because they did get balanced about it. And to get balanced about it is just to see the truth that everybody we've dealt with in the world is on this process of freeing themselves from things that manipulate them. Some people are very loving, giving, nurturing, warm because they freed themselves from things that had hurt them and their self-limiting beliefs to be more loving and giving and nurturing and self-disciplined and emotionally mature and being taking responsibility in their life. And other people, some people haven't learned some of those lessons. So we just see, everybody was maybe trying to do the best they could based on where they were at in their life. Everybody's going to have the consequences in their life from wherever they're at in life, that if they are, like, say, bossy and controlling, yeah, your life's going to maybe be a little different than someone else's life who isn't bossy and controlling. And, it has its own karmic consequences. And I just accept that it does take work and effort for people to free themselves from those things. And if they didn't, I'm not going to take it personally. If they were a more just and fair, emotionally mature, loving person, they would have been. They weren't. I accept it. Everybody is where they're at in life. And it's kind of like offering love and compassion and forgiveness to ourselves for the mistakes we've made, the lessons we've needed to learn. And we offer love and compassion and forgiveness to people in our life that hadn't learned those lessons along the way, so we can let it go. And the overarching reason for the reading is the Three of Swords, like the Heartbreak card. Some people are still... It also can be living more from their mind than their heart, because they have the Three of Swords can talk about having conflict between your heart and your mind. And so some people listen more to their mind and their fear and their defensive, egoic nature. Other people were enlightened to the truth, and it set them free. So what's going on in Sagittarius energy? We have the Wheel of Fortune, the Moon, the Seven of Wands. The Wheel of Fate is, it's called the Wheel of Fortune, but we're either trying to force the Wheel of Fate, thinking, living more from our mind than our heart, that I can still make things go my way, even though I don't want to maybe see the truth about some things. I'm just going to keep going forward the way I am. But what they don't realize in the Moon card is these things make them defensive in the Seven of Wands. And it kind of stops them from being open to love and feeling more balanced within themselves, because those issues are still kind of affecting them. Other people dealt with it. They listened to their intuition, and they took that inspired action to get out of their ego about it, and took inspired action to wrap their brain around those things to free themselves from them. So we have different people in the world. Some people are kind of hiding. They operate more from their mind than their heart, their pain, their heartbreak. And what they might not see clearly about some other people is they could think other people are like them. And if you're someone who's freed yourself from some things, you could think when you meet people that other people are on the same page as you. But the fact is, not everybody's on the same page as you. And as time goes by, we can get in relationships with people. The Moon card is Pisces energy, about love and wanting to have our dreams come into reality. We can get in relationships with people, and we don't realize that. The Moon can talk about things that are hidden behind the surface or underneath the surface. And then sometimes, as time goes by in a relationship, one person in like high vibe Leo energy is inspired by truth and love, but the other person's more inspired by their defensive nature or something. And we kind of realize that one person is ready to move forward in a more open, authentic, loving way. That's how I view high vibe Leo. And other people are like, well, I want to be in a relationship with people who are like that, but that's not really the truth of who I am, because I have these unresolved issues, but I still want to keep them buried beneath the surface. The opposite of the Moon would be the Sun. And Leo energy is also represented by the Sun. Some Everybody has fears and insecurities, self-limiting beliefs. They're immature, lazy, shadowy, prideful, egotistical, I like everything my way nature. But they've been illuminated to the truth. I can't stay in denial that I have my shadow nature. Some people do. I want to act like I'm this picture perfect person. I don't have a shadow nature. I'm not bossy or controlling or fearful or insecure or manipulative or egotistical or defensive, but they are. And some people don't even want to see the truth that they have a shadow nature. I'm going to stay in denial of it, even though I operate from my shadow nature. But I want you also to stay in denial that I have a shadow nature. Let's keep operating from our pride and ego. Let's none of us deal with our past pain and heartbreak and fear and insecurities and keep moving forward in a relationship. And we all have lessons to learn. We all come in contact with all these different people in the world to help us get more clear about our truth. And we've all been in heartbreak. We've all been in more codependent energy. It's just that as time goes by, some people have freed themselves from some of those fears and insecurities, and other people haven't. And we can get in relationships with people, and then as time goes by, we have the Seven of Cups, the Page of Swords, the Ace of Wands, and the Three of Swords. That, the Seven of Cups can be, I wanted to have this new relationship. I got in this new job, this new friendship, this new romantic relationship. One person does have that more hopeful, believing nature, inspired by truth and love and justice and fairness. But the other person could still kind of be creating an illusion and thinking maybe I can confuse people about the truth that I'm still either codependent or immature, but I want to be in a relationship, maybe because I'm heartbroken. And then you move forward in a relationship like that, and initially we don't know that we harness these energies differently. And then we have the Hangman, the Four of Swords, and the Justice card. When we're in kind of a more mismatched relationship, eventually one person's trying to bring a dream into reality based on truth and love and authenticity and justice and fairness. And the other person's like, I was kind of hiding my past pain and heartbreak, and I'm kind of defensive to love, and I want to be in the relationship again, maybe because I'm heartbroken. Maybe I'm in more shadowy energy of jealousy and envy, and maybe I just want to get in a relationship to make someone else heartbroken. But as the relationship goes by, the Hangman can talk about feeling stuck. And it's kind of like, why isn't this relationship moving forward? We have the Four of Swords and the Justice card. Heavy Libra energy in this reading. About what is just and fair. And one person's trying to maybe offer people love and encouragement and truth and love. High vibe, Seven of Cups, wanting to be in a deep, meaningful relationship. And in order to be in a deep, meaningful relationship, people have to let their more hopeful, believing inner child in. The page represents all three of, the Page of Swords represents all three air signs, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. I am aligned with my more hopeful, believing nature in my dreams, but the other people could be, all my air sign energies, we're more aligned with living more from our mind than our heart, our worldly nature, maybe my immature nature, maybe my defensive nature, my codependent nature, my materialistic nature. And my dream is to keep living life like this, and the other person wants to live their life like that, because we live in a world of duality where we have free will to decide what foundation are we going to build our life on? Hope and faith and belief in love, or something else? And then both people could kind of feel stuck in the relationship because we're not on the same page. What drives and motivates you and what drives and motivates me is different. What I'm motivated and inspired by and what I like to maybe go indulge in to make me feel better is different than what you like to indulge in that you think makes you feel better. We can have love for each other, but I don't really want to let my more authentic, hopeful, believing nature out to play in the world. I keep that hidden beneath the surface. I could get hurt. So I just want to create this illusion. And the Seven of Cups in Scorpio energy, one person could want to be in deep, meaningful relationships, high vibe Scorpio, but the other person, you know, I find them confusing. I don't maybe really like to connect in with my emotions that much. I mean, we are emotionally complex human beings, and it's confusing. And some people have just decided, I'm keeping my more authentic and the aspect of myself that even would like to do deep, meaningful relationships. I keep that one buried beneath the surface, and my ego nature kind of runs my life. My defensive nature runs my life. I do want to be in a relationship, but my truth is different than your truth. I am not willing to do a more deep, meaningful relationship. I am in my defensive energy. And then everybody could be thinking, you know what? I'd rather be in a relationship with someone who's more like me. Because if people are kind of more defensive or self-focused or worldly focused, the high vibe people are trying to get them to look at life differently. That's what the Hangman talks about. Look at life from a different perspective. Expand your perception of yourself and the world around you and what you believe is possible. Connect in with your emotions. Start listening to your intuition instead of being defensive and in your ego and fear of being hurt. You know, and people are like, you know, if I were to look at life differently, the Four of Swords comes after the Three of Swords. I'd have to see the truth. The truth sets us free. I'd have to get more balanced within myself, is what the Libra represented by the scales of justice. Maybe what I think is just and fair. I'd have to maybe see that maybe I have some illusions about what it means to be in a relationship. Can't I be defensive and be immature and indulge myself in a relationship? Can't I operate more from pride and ego and stubbornness? Won't you indulge me like a parent would indulge a child? Don't you unconditionally love me? That's my idea of the dream relationship. Where I don't have to look at life differently. I don't have to see the truth. I don't have to get more balanced within myself. I don't have to be more just and fair in this relationship. That's my idea of the dream relationship. And other people are like, I don't know that I want to keep moving forward with someone who, instead of seeing the truth and getting more balance, instead of being tipped out of balance where they're more about themselves or whatever it is that kind of manipulates them, I don't know that I want to keep moving forward with you because this is like your philosophy of life. This is your truth. And I think if I keep moving forward with you, you might think it's just and fair, but I think I might feel stuck in a relationship with you forever. I don't think my dream is ever going to come into reality. This might be your dream life. If I'm a loving, giving, nurturing person who has self-discipline, that I'm not acting in emotionally shallow, superficial, immature, bossy, controlling, manipulative ways of being, but you get to be in a relationship with someone who isn't like you, but I am in a relationship with someone that has those traits and characteristics. It's like you get the best of both worlds, but I get someone who isn't willing to look at life from any other perspective and see the truth and be more just and fair in a relationship. And then a card not showing itself here at the end was the Eight of Pentacles. So again, right now, some of us, we have people in our life, they are on the same page as us. They go with the flow. They listen to their intuition. They are loving and nurturing and supportive. When they get confused, and, any of us in a relationship can kind of be tempted to think that I kind of want it more my way, or I want to be immature or whatever. When they start to be tempted to align with their more egoic nature, they kind of think about that. and are aware, oh, I am tempted to act in a more immature way. Why would I be tempted to act in a more immature way? If I do take that action and I operate more from my more shadowy nature, I'm going to hurt the people I'm in a relationship with, and I'm going to have probably learned enough lessons in life that it's probably not going to turn out the way I want. Because high vibe people have learned that if I take action more out of fear, insecurity, pride, ego, bossy, controlling, immature, I've got some lessons to learn in life. And that's like when the devil comes into our life and we go through a little bit of hell. So the people we're in relationships with that do listen to their intuition are motivated and inspired by truth and love. When they get confused and things are confusing just in the relationship, they do this work within themselves to maintain balance within themselves, to not let themselves get tipped out of balance. And then they do look at life and try to see things from other people's perspective and figure out, why do I feel stuck? What is it that is concerning me, maybe about moving forward, expanding my perception of how I view life and how I view the world and how I view relationships, to keep moving forward with the people in my life who I feel are just and fair and authentic and loving. And then they work through it, they see the truth, they work through how, well, I was kind of tempted to want to be immature and go indulge myself, or I was kind of thinking in this regard they should kind of indulge me. And they do this work to keep maintaining balance. And we all can have people in our life like that. And in that case, what people are doing in a relationship, other people could watch other people in the world and wonder how these people keep working together kind of cooperatively. Because what they don't realize with these cards not showing themselves is that those people aren't living more from their mind than their heart. And they are trying to keep looking at life from other people's perspectives. It's not just about them. If they're working together with other people, they have to take the other people into consideration. They try to see things from other people's perspective. They might have had a way of viewing life that I thought we were going to live life like this forever. Like, oh, wow, you're going to go do something, doing things new and different. Oh, okay. Well, that's different, but okay, I love you. I want to be in a relationship with you. And so long as everybody's being just and fair and truthful and honest and loving, I didn't expect that, but okay, you're going to maybe start a new business or go get a different job, or you have some new interest in life. Okay. And then with the Eight of Pentacles, those people put in work and effort to deal with their own inner conflict about change, and to keep dealing with the truth, keep dealing with their own inner issues so they don't do things that aren't conducive to the relationship moving forward in a just and fair and truthful and loving way. They put in, they're also less motivated by their more worldly nature of being about themselves, getting caught up in these things of the world like lust and greed and pride and ego. They are aligned with their more hopeful, believing, loving nature. And the people that are in our life, at whatever stage of life of learning lessons we're at, some people in our life that are on the same page as us, we work together cooperatively to maintain balance in relationships in truth and love. But there can be some people in our life that don't like that anymore. It could have gotten to a point where, you keep maintaining balance within yourself, or somewhere along the way, you did some of this work within yourself, and now you are more balanced than you maybe used to be. You've been enlightened to something. You've healed, you've grown, you've matured, you've expanded your perception of the world. You're different than you were before. And then some people don't like that. And some people can get in their pride and ego about it, which can be envy and jealousy and things like that. I don't like that you've changed. I don't like that, you're more balanced. You've healed. I maybe didn't heal. Maybe when we got in the relationship, with some of the people in our life. We all can get in a relationship and we're kind of on the same page in some ways. But we might not have realized that with some of those people that one person is motivated and inspired by love and putting in work and effort to free themselves from what manipulates them. And some of the people that we could be in relationships with, that maybe really isn't, because it takes time, energy, and effort, and you have to detach from thinking it should be a little bit more about me or thinking other people won't change. Because some people never plan to put in work and effort to work through their emotional confusion or connect in with their emotions and their intuition more. Some people never plan to get out of their defensive nature or ego nature or more motivated by things of the world. But we can get in relationships with them and be in relationships with them for quite a while. And finally, it kind of does get, in order for the relationship to move forward to like the next stage of life, it does require people be willing to kind of get out of their more worldly, defensive, or immature nature or whatever. Because if other people have done this work within themselves, that they're no longer the same, and they are kind of maintaining balance within themselves, and they're no longer going to indulge people in poor behavior, which here everybody could have been in poor behavior, but over time, people found it confusing and like, why do I keep living my life like that? And why am I defensive to believing in my dreams? And I feel out of balance and I feel stuck and I have these things, this pain and heartbreak and self-limiting beliefs. And so then they do get inspired to do this work within themselves. And then they do that work, and now they're not the same person they were before. And they're probably offering truth and love and encouragement to people in their life to move forward with them in this way. But everybody has free will. And some people could decide, too, it doesn't even have to be nasty. It's just that I'm not there yet. I wish I was there, but I'm not there. And maybe I'm not willing to just be more authentically myself. Becoming ourself and seeing kind of through the illusion. The moon and the Seven of Cups can talk about the illusion, being caught up in this illusion of the world. I could make my life so much about wanting other people in the world to view me a certain way and like me and validate my worth and value. And, and I think when we're in the first couple decades of our life, that's how we live our life. Because we don't even know ourselves enough to be kind of maybe more authentically ourselves. And we do have this conflict between, isn't life about trying to present this illusion about who I am so people view me a certain way, so people want to be in relationships and friendships with me? And eventually we just kind of get tired of creating the illusion, and we kind of see through the illusion. And it's like, why am I not just authentically myself? And I'm going to treat people with love and respect and the way I like to be treated, and a just and fair way. And if people like me, they like me. And if they don't, they don't. And believe me, there will be people who don't like you because of it, because you're not manipulated by the same things they're manipulated by. It's like you're not playing the game. You're not like trying to kiss ass. You're not trying to ingratiate yourself. You're being kind, nice, encouraging, and supportive. But it could be like people look at you like, I don't get it. How come they seem more at peace within themselves, and I am still defensive of being authentically myself, and I'm still playing the game, trying to get people to view me a certain way and like me or whatever, without really authentically just being myself in truth and love. And partly it could be because some people are hiding that they are kind of immature, and they are maybe trying to manipulate people or control people or want people to indulge them. And so they're not showing their authentic nature because their authentic nature is still kind of shadowy. Other people have worked through it and they just want just and fair and authentic and loving relationships. So I'm just going to be authentically myself. And that's when other people can be like, Huh? But you have to be willing to see the truth. And some people don't want to put in the work and effort it takes to figure out, why do I live my life the way I live it? Why do I make these certain things so important? Why am I defensive? Why am I more fearful, insecure, manipulative, petty, envious, jealous, whatever they are, And it could just be, I have these unresolved issues that I don't want to deal with. I'd rather just put them in a corner of my mind, not deal with them. I'm sure everything will go okay. So, the thing is, though, I think life is about learning these lessons because, like, high vibe energy represented by God wants us to give birth to new things and grow to our full potential. But we can't if we still have all these things buried beneath the surface that we don't deal with that manipulate us. And so I think some people think, no, I'm going to protect myself. I'm not going to do love, and I don't want to deal with this stuff. But it ends up that the people who are just and fair and loving in their life, they could reject because they're kind of not loving themselves. And loving people can do that too. Oh, I'm a loving person, but I'm not used to being in relationships with people who treat me the way I treat them. I'm equally out of balance. I go get in relationships with people who are defensive, who are kind of codependent or immature or hurtful or unkind, and I came into their life to try to save them. My God Savior complex. So I'm equally out of balance where I enable myself in my poor behavior of not requiring justice and fairness. And I give to other people, and other people take. And then I feel stuck in those relationships, and I really want a more just and fair relationship. But I haven't realized that the reason I give is because, if I'm in a relationship with someone who, say, is immature and impulsive or defensive to love, well, it's not challenging me to grow. And it's maybe making me more patient, more understanding in a way, but it doesn't challenge me to grow because I'm in a relationship in a way with someone who doesn't challenge me to face my own fears and insecurities about being in a more just and fair relationship. So it can kind of be us being in our ego. And then if it doesn't work, it's like, oh, well, they were immature and impulsive. Oh, well, they were defensive. Oh, they had an addiction. And it's kind of like we get to keep being in like our prideful ego nature of, look how loving I am. But we don't get in relationships with people who treat us the way we treat them, that challenges us to maybe work through our maybe immature, because every phase of life, fears and insecurities bubble up. If we keep repeating an old pattern, we're not facing new fears and insecurities and like growing to our full potential. And some people have repeated that pattern, always thinking, oh no, other people will heal and grow and mature themselves, and then they'll be like on the same page as me. And that's why we can also be drawn and attracted to certain people. And we could get in relationships with people who we do kind of think are more on the same page as us, because they could present themselves as someone who loves and encourages other people to love and believe in themselves also. The only difference is the high vibe people did want people to be enlightened to the truth and get more just and more balanced within themselves. The other people want to play that role of being a loving and encouraging person in someone's life, and they like you to view them that way. Kind of like, I like to be in relationships with people who are heartbroken and defensive. That I feel like I'm this just and fair and stable and grounded person. I am this enlightened person. I will come get in a relationship with you. I will take action to get in a relationship with you, you poor thing. But then they want you to kind of keep staying stuck. So when they're in a relationship, they can be loving and encouraging and supportive, just like you can be loving and encouraging and supportive in a relationship. But when you get in a relationship, you're hoping people do heal and grow and mature themselves. The other people like to play that role in your life where it is, you being and staying more codependent on them versus becoming more stable and grounded within yourself. And that's, kind of that subtle difference where you both in your Libra energy and your Sagittarius energy, you seem to be a lot of ways alike until we get down to the truth of what drives and motivates people. Other people were wanting people to be enlightened and get more balance within themselves to keep moving forward, growing and maturing themselves and becoming all they can be. The other people wanted you like to play that role in people's life and view themselves as that type of person, but they really don't want you to look, they don't want the relationship dynamic to change. I like you being codependent on me. I like you being defensive. I kind of like you being heartbroken. I like you being stuck. Because then I get to play this role in your life and you look to me to make you feel better. But I don't want you to put work and effort into seeing the truth and seeing through the illusion of who I am. I like it being an equally maybe imbalanced type relationship where I'm like the teacher and you're the student. I'm the parent, you're my child. The only problem with that is children grow up and kind of rebel against their parents. And the people who think they like this type of relationship dynamic, the people they can get in relationships with, for one, if we're trying to, even for the loving people who are authentically loving, other people are an adult. They want to live their life the way they want to live it. If you've seen that they have certain ways of being and behavior that you don't really care for, then get the hell out of the relationship. I am who I am. I want to live my life the way I want to live it. I do not need a parent in my life. And people who like people being more codependent on them or trying to control them, or shadowy Leo trying to manipulate and control people, I don't like feeling manipulated and controlled, and I might think I would do this work within myself. I would think you'd be proud of me. And then some of those people, they don't like it because you really are someone who puts in work and effort to heal and grow and mature yourself. And they don't like that you did. And now they feel stuck because now the teacher would have to become like the student. They'd have to get out of their ego to admit that they have lessons to learn and move forward with you in life differently than they ever planned to live in life differently. And that's when some relationships can end. And for some people, they're going through that right now. They could feel stuck. I have, with our dualistic nature, we have different people in our life. They have people in their life that are loving and encouraging and just and fair and encouraging and not trying to manipulate and control them. And they have people in their life that are trying to maybe tempt them in their more worldly, egoic, codependent, get caught up in the illusion of the world, make these other things more important than truth and love. And it's kind of like, because they have their own dualistic nature. Am I going to keep moving forward, maybe creating this illusion of how wonderful my life is, but I'm actually defensive to change, defensive to stepping out of my comfort zone? I'm indulging someone maybe in a relationship, or they're indulging me by worldly standards that could look great, but is it my truth? Do I feel I may be in a relationship, or people are in a relationship with me more because of ego or image and codependency and heartbreak? Am I in relationships with people who really want me to heal and be at peace within myself? Or are they constantly trying to do things to confuse me, to stop me from being more balanced within myself, to make me focus on them, maybe trying to manipulate and control me, to keep me focused on them, then growing to my full potential and healing? And who am I going to hang out with? And it can be difficult because if we're already, even if this were a job, it's like, oh gosh, I got this job. I don't like this job, but damn, this job looks great and it's good for my ego and my image, and they pay really well. But it's really, I feel stuck and it's not really what I want to do. Am I willing to quit putting work and effort into that job, that friendship, that way of living life, that way of viewing life? Am I willing to let go of that, to listen to my intuition, to maybe go do what would really maybe be more aligned with my truth and my soul and the people that I'd be hanging out with and the things I'd be doing in my life that make me feel at peace. And, you know, am I going to get like my divine inheritance in the justice card? Or am I going to live a life of illusion from my ego, from my immature nature, from my indulgent nature? There are some people that do live more from their mind than their heart. They're caught up in the illusion of the world. They're in their ego. They want the status. They want the image. They want people to view them a certain way. They want people to validate their worth and value. There could have been someone in their life that, high vibe and low vibe people, that they would have maybe liked to have been in a relationship with because it would have been good for their ego and image. Wow, look, I got a really loving person and nurturing person to be in a relationship. Or there's someone who looks victorious and successful in the world, maybe in a more financial sense. If I were to get in a relationship with them, that would make me look like really victorious and successful. Right now, some of those people could be wondering if they should reach out to one of those people, because they've kind of gotten maybe to a place in a relationship where, you know, they created an illusion with someone else. And if they got in a relationship with another loving person, it's like, well, that person wants me to be just and fair, but I could have already known loving people I was in a relationship, and I know they're loving, and I could, you know, there is a foundation of love there. That why would I move forward with those people if I might have gotten in a relationship with this new person, just kind of creating an illusion and indulging myself. There's someone who I know is loving, that I have love for, that maybe I'd want to get in a relationship with them. But all these people that they've been in a relationship with, these different people, are defensive to them. Because either the high vibe people were enlightened to the truth of who this person was, and unless this person reveals the truth and gets out of their more worldly nature, they don't want to be in a relationship with them. And those people are moving forward, maintaining balance within themselves. And where before some of these people were able to manipulate loving people in their life, they're not able to manipulate them anymore, because those people have been enlightened to the truth of who they are. There might be some more worldly focused people that they'd kind of like to be in a relationship with, but that person also, you know, if they're more about ego and image and status and image and money and materialism, they got someone that they're creating an illusion with that looks victorious and successful in the world, maybe more so than this person. See, the problem is with shadowy people who do try to manipulate and control people, if they get, or more ego-based, and it's all about creating this illusion of how wonderful our life is, they want to maybe be in relationships with people who are like them. But the problem is with a shadowy relationship, it can maybe be harder to find someone who's on the same page as you, because one of them kind of wants to be deferred to. And they're used to being the person who manipulates other people. So it's hard for two people who like to manipulate other people to be in a relationship with each other, because one of them would kind of have to defer to the other one, because it is an imbalanced relationship, and one person has to kind of indulge someone else. Right now, some of those people might be thinking, if they got in a relationship with another loving person, which really isn't their truth, they might be thinking, well, maybe I will go indulge that person. You know, when they're in a relationship, they kind of think people should indulge them in their ego because they think that's just and fair. Well, if they don't want to do a more just and fair relationship with loving people, they might have to indulge someone else to get those things of the world that they want. And I don't know, the hangman can be, you know, people stubbornly refusing to budge to prove a point. So then you can have people in standoffs, you know, like No, I want you to defer to me. No, I want you to defer to me. And the enlightened people are like, yeah, you guys play your games and you try to go manipulate someone else. And you probably try to act stubborn and prideful to me, trying to get me to not love and believe in myself and do the relationship the way you want me to do it. And I've already worked through all the emotional confusion and I see the truth of who you are. And I'm moving on and I'm over here maintaining balance within myself. I don't want to work with you anymore. But when we're in our shadow nature, more of pride or ego or thinking we're confusing everybody about the truth and manipulating people, some of the people who tried to manipulate and control you previously don't realize that you're still not confused because they're not seeing things clearly. And some of those people are still doing things in their life, trying to prove a point to you, acting out of ego, waiting for you to come back. And you're like, I've already moved on. I don't want to work with you. And they don't even know it. For some, they might be starting to get a clue. It's like, what? I thought you were over here confused and defensive. Oh shit, are you over there? Have you healed and seen the truth in your balance? And here I've been trying to confuse people about the truth of why I'm doing what I'm doing. And it was all trying to manipulate you to get you to come back and be in a relationship with me. And it's like, no, I'm over here. And now whatever you were doing and whoever you got in relationships with to try to hurt me or break my heart and confuse other people about the truth of who you are, now some of those people feel stuck in this game they were playing, using other people just as pawns in their game. And because some of them are so much about their ego and their image and how people view them, that's really important to them because they don't actually offer people love. They offer the illusion of love. So it's very important to them how people perceive them. And now they could feel stuck in something because they've created this illusion, whatever they move forward in that looked victorious was like saying, this is my truth. But really the whole reason they could have gotten into it was more fear, insecurity, pride, ego, trying to manipulate someone else. And now they feel stuck in it. And in order to get out of it, are they going to tell the truth? Odds are against it. Odds are they'll create some illusion about why they became defensive to the person they're in a relationship. If those people no longer serve their purpose of trying to manipulate someone else, and they were never aligned with their truth to begin with, they could get out of that relationship. And some of the people that they could be in a relationship could be thinking of getting out of a relationship with them too, because they see it's not moving forward the way they thought. So I just think when you're in shadowy energy, it just can get really confusing, which is what the Seven of Cups can talk about. And gosh, these people who really play, shadowy Sagittarius can be like an immature player person. I just want to go indulge myself in relationships. I'll create an illusion. I'm willing to bring a victory into reality one day. Let's get in this relationship and you might be truthful and honest or whatever, and I'm indulging myself in it because I don't want to deal with my past pain and heartbreak. But then when it really gets to be being more just and fair and authentic in a relationship, oh, well, then you'll kind of see that I got some issues to deal with, and you might leave, and then I might want to leave. Goodness. Some people are just really confused. What's coming up for people who harness some high vibe Sagittarius energy that they might not see coming? The Queen of Pentacles. Why? Because of the Six of Cups and the Seven of Wands. If we do look at life, that life is about learning lessons and help us to get more and more clear about our truth, and we come in contact with all these people to help us get more clear about our truth, and that there's lessons to be learned from all these life experiences, like, oh, I don't like bossy and controlling people. Oh, yeah, I don't want to be in relationships with people who are immature anymore. Oh, yeah, I'm not going to try to change anybody anymore. When I meet people, I'm going to listen to my intuition, stand up for what I believe in, get to know people, try to figure out kind of their truth and what drives and motivates them. If it seems like we're on the same page and everybody's kind of balanced between their mind and their heart, maybe we'll see if we can work a relationship out and try to see things from each other's perspectives, and we'll move forward. And with some of the people in my life, I'm in very kind of emotionally mature, nurturing relationships, is what the Queen of Pentacles can talk about. The Queens can talk about how we think and feel, whether you're male or female. And here we have a masculine energy, which can represent action that people are taking in the world. High vibe people are in emotionally nurturing relationships with people that harness, like them, high vibe Sagittarius, Taurus philosophy of life, of working together cooperatively, in authentically, like in truth and love, being inspired by love, having deep, meaningful relationships, and they're standing up and defend everybody that moves forward with them in that way, are standing up and defending that philosophy of life. And everybody is willing to get out of their ego to look at life from everybody's perspective, that everybody has their own dreams, from love. People aren't trying to hurt each other that they're in relationship with, but people change and grow and heal and get motivated and inspired by different things, and we keep being loving and nurturing and encouraging of each other. And we don't act in our defensive nature, our immature nature, our prideful nature. We keep moving forward in truth and love. And I think as you do that, there's going to be other people who see that you are like that. And there's going to be people in your life that want to hire you for a job, to be in friendships with them, to be in relationships with them. They view you as someone they can move forward with in this way. And as different people maybe could communicate with you and want to be in a relationship with you, you're going to listen to your intuition about who is telling you the truth and who has done this work within themselves to work together with you in this way and move forward in this more creative, inspired, emotionally mature way. And who are the people that are like, oh, well, whatever I went to go in, those people aren't willing to kind of indulge me, or it would look better for my ego and image to be in a relationship with you, or you're more loving and nurturing than those people, but what about them? And the people in your life who you think are still defensive, operating from ego, still codependent, still immature, want these mismatched kind of relationship dynamics, those people, I think you'll just offer them love and encouragement. They could maybe just be a friend of yours, but you're going to keep moving forward until they really have been enlightened to the truth. I'm not getting in relationships anymore with people who want to repeat this old pattern more from ego. And I don't want to be in a relationship with someone more because of ego, because that means I'm going to learn some hard lessons and it's not probably going to turn out the way I want. The best hope of a relationship working out is if people are enlightened to the truth that it's supposed to be, where we emotionally invest in it and we work together cooperatively in a deep, meaningful relationship because we both have seen the truth and are inspired by love. So, what's coming up for the people who harness a more worldly, shadowy Sagittarius energy that they might not see coming up? The Five of Swords. Why? Because of the Two of Cups. So the fives talk about change. When there's people in a relationship that are trying to confuse people about the truth of who they are, trying to present themselves as these authentic, like loving, just, fair people, but really they got some issues they need to deal with. And other people in their life have probably been loving and encouraging to them, trying to make a relationship work or a friendship work or things in the workplace work. Eventually, the people in life eventually kind of get out of their own ego about it and are willing to see the truth. And we're all willing to see the truth when we're ready. And they realize the Eight of Pentacles and Virgo energy can talk about what people's long-term plans are. And if people are willing to do that inner work to deal with those things they keep buried beneath the surface, or if they're not. And even though people can have love for people, your siblings, your adult children, your parents, some friends, some family members, even work, a job, if people aren't willing to do this work within themselves, and we've been loving and encouraging, but they keep defending this illusion about how they present themselves in the world, and they don't want to see the truth that they're really not who they say they are. They might view themselves as a very just and fair and emotionally nurturing and loving person, but not really. To a degree, yes. But when it requires looking at life any differently, or from a different perspective, or from other people's perspective, they refuse. And that's fine. They can have their way of viewing life. We all live life the way we live it, probably because it makes us feel stable and grounded at that point in time. And that's where we're at. If we were ready to move forward in life differently, we would. But other people in their life see the truth of it. I am ready to move forward in life differently. The 4 plus the 1 sword makes the 5 of swords. I am ready to move forward in my truth, and you're not ready to move. Your truth is still different. Or you're still have a lesson to learn from a phase of life that I've already went through, and I've already learned my lesson from that phase of life, and I don't want to live my life like that anymore. And I'm ready to go to the next phase of life, and I've been offering you love and encouragement and truth and help to try to get you, but I can't make someone put in work and effort to deal with their fears and insecurities. I can't make someone connect in with their emotional nature and their more intuitive nature if they're not willing to. I can't make someone get out of more codependent energy. They have to figure out, or their more immature nature, or prideful nature, or defensive nature, and eventually people see the truth of it. I can love you. I hope your life goes great, but I can't. Whatever manipulates them, if you keep staying in a relationship, is like a third party in your relationship. And you want truth and love and justice and fairness to be the third party in your relationship. And that's not what's the third party in their life right now. It could just be trying to hide from love. I don't want to get hurt, so I'm not willing to do love. Okay, I see the truth of it. And they're going to have people in their life who are kind of done. During this process, they changed, and the other people didn't change, because the 5s talk about change. I've learned to love myself, and love is to be just and fair and balanced. People are supposed to treat each other the way they like to be treated, and I don't think you do that. And I might have compassion, for I know that you have some issues or whatever, but until you... I can't stay imprisoned with you. And if you're not willing to put in work and effort to work through those things, then I wish you peace. I have a dream I want to manifest into reality to get my divine inheritance. And I have to see the truth. I can only have my dream come into reality with people who are kind of on the same page as me. And now that I've been enlightened to the truth and I have healed, I'm going to go invest in other people in the world who I think have the 6 of Cups can talk about. They've reconciled themselves with the past. So the past is no longer keeping them stuck. And they're ready to move forward in life to give birth to something new in the world. And that's who I'm going to go be in a relationship with. And some of the people who've been, could think they're so smart, I'm sure these people won't leave either because I'm attractive or I'm charming or I've got money or I'm a really good manipulator or I know they love me and I've been manipulating them based on the love they have for me. Well, eventually those people love themselves and see the truth. People who love me don't try to manipulate me. People who love me don't try to control me. People who love me don't try to confuse me about the truth. People who love me don't act stubborn and prideful and egotistical with me. People who love me don't break my heart to try to get me to do life the way they want it. I've offered peace and love. What have you offered me to move this relationship forward? We're not on the same page. What I think is just and fair is different than what you think is just and fair. And as some of those people leave their life and move forward in life, that's when some of the more worldly, shadowy, stubborn people could feel stuck. Because why wasn't I willing to be more just and fair? And maybe, high vibe energies, being independent and being a leader in the world, maybe that will make them start to think about why they act that way. Odds are not initially. Initially, they'll probably defend and try to confuse people about the truth, why they didn't move forward with loving, encouraging, supportive people in their life, because they're in their ego. I'll just create an illusion about why those people moved on. But the truth is, if they wanted to live their life differently and be more just and fair and authentic and loving, they would have been. So they'll probably go try to find someone who doesn't know the truth about who they are, who might be kind of defensive because a different relationship didn't work out. It's like, well, I'll just go create an illusion again with someone else and I'll indulge myself in that relationship and maybe they'll never be enlightened to the truth. Maybe they are kind of on the same page as me. Maybe they're willing to stay in a relationship with me and defer to me. It'll be perfect. Won't really be love. The one person could love them, but some of these people just don't do love because they have mental conflict about love, but they don't want to work through it. So there you go, Sagittarius energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.